Christine. Welcome to Book Talk. Today we're discussing the second book in TAHEREH MAFI's Shatter Me series, Unravel Me.
Ooh, look, my eye just got really big. Look at it, look at it!
If you don't know what Shatter Me is about and you would like to, you can go watch the Shatter Me book talk, and that explains the premise, because if you didn't read Shatter Me, you're not going to want to watch this video because it'll spoil you, and that would suck, because Shatter Me is it's pretty good stuff. Now, Unravel Me, the sequel, I definitely enjoyed it more. Look at the pages. Can you see that they're rough-edged? Yeah, you could see it. I love TAHEREH MAFI on Twitter. Do you follow her? Because you should. She's hilarious. I've already favorited like 5 of her tweets, and I just started following her like 2 weeks ago. Now, what can I say about Unravel Me without spoiling it for you if you haven't read it yet? If you just read Shatter Me, you have to read Destroy Me, which is the novella, which comes in between Unravel Me and Shatter Me. You gotta read it. Usually you could ignore novellas, that's why they're called novellas. This, I really think, should be a mandatory part of Unravel Me. Destroy Me should just be the first section of it, right here. Because some people aren't gonna pick up Destroy Me, and then they're just gonna miss a whole lot of character development that you need. You really need. I don't know why it's not mandatory reading. Usually, you know, novellas are just there. I couldn't put down the stupid novella. I'd start reading it and then I'm like, what even? I'm gonna start spoiling Unravel Me. So leave if you haven't read it yet, okay? Bye for now. Okay, well, before we get to Warner, Mr. Warner, we open back with Juliet being frustrating again. She just will ramble about how sad she is about stupid things. She's in this shelter underground with a million people that are just like her, and she's not trying to make friends with them. She's not trying to interact. She has a dangerous ability. She has to show that she's not dangerous by being nice and getting people to like her. She's one of those girls that when she has her boyfriend, she doesn't hang out with anyone else, and she doesn't do anything else, and she just leans on him all the time. We're gonna get to the Adam-Juliet relationship. Juliet. It's just really frustrating to see a character with so much potential to be strong act so helpless and weak and irritating, honestly. It's so frustrating when in the beginning of a second book, because this happens a lot, one person in the couple will be hiding something from the other, and the one realizes that the other's hiding something from them, but they're like, oh, I'll just ask later. Oh, I'll just figure it out later. Just make him tell you. I don't understand why Juliet's like, no, actually tell me right now. I need to know. Unless you want to break up right now, tell me what the hell is going on with you. Even when she insists, she doesn't really get an answer. I would freaking hold him down till he freaking told me. Okay, we learned about Adam's power, which is to shut off other people's powers. We've got Adam and Juliet, and then we've got Juliet and Warner. Warliet. She purposely made these names unshippable. So, don't get me wrong, I love Adam. I think he's a great guy. I think he's nice. I don't think he's a boring character. I don't hate him. I like the guy. Now, we have Warner, who we've been misled to believe is this crazy monster because we only saw him through Juliet's eyes, and Juliet only made assumptions because she never saw any other part of him. He's been hardened into this creature by his father. In my previous book talk, I kind of aligned him with Sebastian from the TMI series, and he's not. He's a more screwed up version of Jace. He's like if Jace never got away from Valentine. Warner's so messed up. I think his dad's worse than Valentine. Freaking insensitive, abusive asshole. The Raven scene in TMI, Valentine finds out that Jace loves his pet Raven, right? Let's compare this to the same scenario in Unravel Me. Warner's dad finds out that he's fallen in love with Juliet, his pet monster. I mean, that just takes it to a whole nother level of sick. Okay, it's one thing to kill your son's pet bird. It's another thing to kill your son's pet girlfriend. Valentine, he had a heart. The thing is that he thought his purpose was more important, and he knew that he was doing evil things, but he knew also that he'd be redeemed because his purpose and the angel approves of him. So Warner is not a horrible monster. They're both decent guys. Warner just has to accept that he is. He doesn't think he can change because he has so much pent-up guilt, I think, about what he's already done. He thinks he doesn't, but he does, and that's why he's saying that he can't go back, because he can't even imagine how he could forgive himself for those sorts of things. Now, let's look at both these guys with Juliet. Juliet with Adam is not her best. Juliet's weaker with Adam. She leans on Adam. She doesn't stand up and do her own thing. Adam carries her like she's this fragile little flower that's going to break and die. He doesn't encourage her to do things herself. He wants to protect her. He wants to... When she's with Adam, she's too comfortable. She doesn't grow, and we need her to grow as a character. And Juliet's effect on Adam, Juliet is literally weakening Adam by being with him. She's literally draining him. His health is threatened. Now let's look at her with Warner. Warner is always challenging Juliet to be independent, to be stronger, to use her abilities, to take control. And while Warner is mentally challenging Juliet, Juliet is constantly challenging Warner. She's challenging him to be a better person. She's encouraging him to lose this monster persona that he's held onto for so long because of his father. Be a good person. Be the person she knows is inside him that he's hiding from the world because he thinks it's embarrassing. It's like Elena and Stefan and Elena and Damon. When Juliet's with him together physically, she's literally strengthening him. When you compare the relationship, not the men as two separate people, like who's the better guy, who is better with Juliet? I have to ship Julorner. Now, do we think Adam will learn to control his ability, and in the final book maybe they'll get back together because stupidness? Maybe. I don't know. Juliet's finally starting to realize that Warner is good for her, and she, in turn, is good for Warner. They fix each other. So basically, Juliet was a pain in the ass until she broke up with Adam. Kenji had that awesome speech like, stop feeling sorry for yourself. You're not the only person in this world. Stop being so self-absorbed and take a look around. Juliet's in this bubble of Adam until Kenji takes that frickin' sword and stabs it open with that speech. She needed that speech. She needed that slap in the face. Get a grip. Juliet is constantly igniting in this book. Like, she ignites like a million times. The bird tattoo on Adam is the ignite tattoo on Warner. I loved the scene with James in this book. It was so cute. That actually brought a tear to my eye. How he was mad at her, and then when she told him the story, and he was like, I'm sorry, I was mad at you. Oh my god, the scene with Warner and the puppy, that was the cutest thing. Let's talk about when they go into the real world, and they meet in that house, and they meet Anderson. Oh, what a scene! My favorite part of the book. Stretchy Guy and Electricity Guy Brendan are taken. So that's what sets up this meeting. We go to the meeting. Anderson is a really attractive psychopath. Juliet gets super mad because he's a total and complete asshole to Warner. And she turns into the Hulk. And it's just the best time she turned into the Hulk. I loved it. She takes his gun and she shoots him in both his legs. And I was like, kill him! But then, after that goes down, Adam comes in and he's like, that's my dad, and I dropped the book. Literally, I'm just walking around saying, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck, what even? Warner and Adam are brothers! What even? That was such a huge surprise for me. Thinking about those storylines connecting, then I'm thinking, does Anderson actually have an ability? Is that a thing? It's so Valentine-y. I guess he was never there for Adam, but he was there sometimes. Right after that, I was like, oh my god, can he clone himself? Can there be more than one of him in one place at one time? And I don't know. I'm still kind of keeping that psycho crackpot theory open, but I think he's gotta have something. Maybe something subtle, but some sort of ability. Because both his kids have abilities. And James can heal. That was just brought up so obviously. Like, oh yeah, my cuts, they just always heal so fast. And I was like, oh wow, he's Hayden Panettiere from Heroes. This is the only time I lulled during the book. When they're taking Warner back as a hostage in the car, Warner's head is on my lap. His face is smooth and calm and peaceful in a way I've never seen it, and I almost reach out to stroke his hair before I remember exactly how awkward this actually is. Murderer on my lap, murderer on my lap, murderer on my lap, and it's all crossed out. In Destroy Me, we learned that Warner, that guy he shot on the roof in front of Juliet, was actually an abusive asshole killing his whole family. Warner doesn't like to kill for no reason. He kills with a purpose. It's hard knowing that Juliet still judges him for these things without knowing the complete story. And Warner doesn't share because he thinks it makes him weak. Back to this, Adam's dad is Warner's dad. And Warner's actual name is Aaron. They're broskies. It's like we smushed the Vampire Diaries and the Mortal Instruments together. I want Warner to find out. Do you think he'll find out in the next? I think he has to. He has to find out. We have this hostage situation with Warner. I love all their conversations. It's just so nice to see Warner acting like a human because he doesn't have to keep up this monster persona for his dad or for the people around him. He has to be hard and undistracted and unemotional all the time. And it was like a vacation for him to be a normal human being and talk to someone freely and speak his real feelings. I just love that he found her notebook. I love that he has this new respect for Juliet. Not that he didn't respect her before, but he completely understands her now and realizes how much they have in common, and Juliet feels freer around him too because she doesn't have to feel embarrassed about the things she's done because he already found out. And she talks about how Adam respected her privacy, but she and Adam don't connect on the same level as her and Warner because she keeps those things private. And we discover that Warner is like a Peter Petrelli limited by touch. Later that night, in chapter 62, Warner and Juliet get all hot and heavy, and things are just really good between them. Warner is being really sensitive and really nice, and he's like, I want you to call me Aaron now. I want to be changed. I want to be different with you. And she goes, Adam. She says the wrong name! Pulls a Ross. Aaron is horrified. He's like spilling his soul. He never shares with anyone. And the one girl that he opens up to calls him by some other guy's name. I was so mad at Juliet. It was so mean. It was just mean the way she went about it. Now, not only are you hurting Adam by being with Warner, but you're hurting Warner because you said Adam's name when you were together. Now, we've got this whole war aspect going on, and I really wasn't very interested in the whole war aspect of the book. I just don't see it going anywhere. I don't know what they could do with one book. Maybe they'll be able to take Sector 45. That's the problem with these dystopians. They can never fix themselves in 3 books. And we usually only get 3 books, and the last book ends up trying to fix it, but not really getting there. My hope is that Warner will turn on them. That's what has to happen, really. Him and Juliet has to team together. Okay, I mean, his dad shot Juliet. If that's not a reason to completely flip your allegiance, I don't know what is. And when he shot Juliet, I gasped so loud. Our main character was just shot in the chest! But how did Warner get the twins there so fast? I don't know. The whole end part, the last chapter, when she woke up in bed with Warner, they were so cute together. I want her to run away with Warner. Because yeah, the world's a problem. But right now, we have these really interesting characters. And yes, I want to see them try to change the world. But I don't want the whole focus to be on war. Because that's not what's interesting in this story. It's really these messed up characters and how they interact for me. I find it so interesting how Warner always calls Juliet love. He sounds British, does he not? It'll be very frustrating if she doesn't end up with Warner, and I feel like that might happen. Metaphorically, the way these relationships have been set up, it would just be so wrong for her to be with Adam. The guy who turns her off, rather than being with Warner, the guy who kind of becomes one with her, who shares her energy. I'm really excited for the next one. Now Juliet is strong and she knows how to use her abilities. Share your thoughts on Unravel Me. Did you like it better than Shatter Me? Because I definitely think I would put it above Shatter Me. I'm Christine. I'll talk to you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye!